Hear what? I'm receiving some sort of transmission. Routed through the main system. Routing.
Looking to take a Disney vacation or cruise? Contact Kristen of MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Magical Journeys is an authorized Disney vacation planner. Kristen will get you the best price available and continue to search for deals until the day you travel, taking the worry out of planning your fantastic vacation. Kristen can help plan your dining reservations and answer any questions you may have. She'll even send you maps from the parks. So contact Kristen of Magical Journeys for your next cruise or Disney vacation. Contact Kristen of Magical Journeys at MagicalJourneysVacations.com. So what are you waiting for? Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
Wow, that sounds great. I want to go. Well, you can't. Why not? Because we have to stay at our posts and keep rebel scum like him out.
Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
WDW After Dark. Now loading.
WDW After Dark. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. Starring Jeff Davis, Al Jonko, Kristen Hetzel, and Eric Allen. WDW After Dark is live and uncensored. Call the hotline at 410-98-WDW-AD. Follow us on Facebook at WDW After Dark Webcast and Twitter at WDW After Dark. Headline news, Disney food, video games, Marvel and Star Wars. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. And now prepare yourself for WDW After Dark. Welcome one and all to yet another edition of WDW After Dark, your live and uncensored webcast for adult Disney fans. We are joining you every single week, and right now we are recording this on Tuesday, March 31st, 2015, the day before April Fool's Day. So anyway, I hope you're having a good one, and by the time you get this, I hope no one has pulled the wool over your eyes. So having said that, let's bring it to our talking heads. We're back with, once again, the news monster. He's always on point with today's Disney news, especially with the Disney parks, Mr. Jeff Disney Davis.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Doing well, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. It's a testosterone-driven show tonight. The girls are out. They're having fun. Kristen's out having fun, and we were going to have another guest star with us tonight, but something popped up, so we're going to do the all-male review, kind of the Thunder from Down Under, without the loincloths and without the baby oil. So, but we are fully clothed. We're not giving away the full Monty.
Here we go.
There's none
here.
of that going on. Yes, none of that going on right now.
This
also
is no
joining us,
Magic
we have our
Mike type show, so don't get stupid with me. All right, jeez.
The next thing you know, Jeff Davis will be like Kevin Nash. Having said that, we are now here joined by Mr. Mighty Marvel Geek, Mr. Swarcom Review himself, Mr. Eric Thunderbeaver Allen.
You told me we were going to show up in loincloths. Do I have to stand up on this?
No.
Thank you.
No.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Stay.
You're no fun anymore.
Well, once
John.
again,
you promised us loincloths.
I hope. Okay, well, maybe later. The budget wasn't really in for today for any loincloth of any kind.
That's bad.
Unfortunately.
All right.
But
we can't budget a loincloth. We suck. So that's terrible.
Now that's the phrase of the evening. If we can't budget a loincloth.
Wow. I'm sorry. Well, speaking of the budget, a little bit of housekeeping news. Thank you so much for downloading WDW After Dark, your weekly podcast and your webcast there on iTunes. You want to make sure you like and subscribe our feed. We do appreciate all the feedback we've been getting via social media, WDW After Dark webcast on Facebook and WDW After Dark on Twitter. We urge you, every single one, to support the show by checking out our preferred travel partners, our deal makers, the people that make your Disney vacation a much more enjoyable one. I'm talking about Kristen of MagicalJourneysVacations.com. You need to check her out. Be sure to request a quote today so that you can start saving for your next Disney vacation. Guess what? Not just Disney, but every cruise line. Also, Adventures by Disney and cruises. Did I say all the cruise lines? Oh, and Universal. That's what I meant to say. The Evil Park. So be sure to check that out, and Kristen will be happy to help you at MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Also, another thing you can do to help support the show is be sure to check out our website, WDWAfterDark.com. Click on our links. Our affiliate links are there. You can check out and get geeky t-shirts. You can also shop using our Amazon link. It doesn't cost you any additional money at all. It's still the same great prices that you would every day get from Amazon. It just helps our show because Amazon kicks back a little bit of something so that we can pay for the .com and whatever kind of stuff we need in the future. We do appreciate that, everyone. So please be sure to bookmark those links on your browser and support WDW After Dark. Having said that, let's spare no more time and get right into the heat of the moment, the big Disney stories of the week with the Disney Headline News. Mr. Jeff Disney Davis is in the newsroom with the latest headlines. Mr. Davis.
Why don't we start things with Disneyland? Let's head out to California this time around because we do have one thing to talk about out there. The Fantasmic dessert party over at Hungry Bear, unfortunately, for all of you on the West Coast, has been canceled. When the Hungry Bear restaurant reopens in Critter Country next week, one major offering leaves the menu, unfortunately. They did inform the cast members that this was going to be no longer offered, so it's something that just had to go, apparently, according to them. The $30 dessert package included a plated dessert assortment, live entertainment, and a separate reserved viewing area for Fantasmic on the dock of the former Keelboat attraction. Aljon, have you ever done this dessert party before when you've been out to Disneyland? Have you seen this?
I've never done the dessert party at Hungry Bear, but that is one of my favorite places to get breakfast and or any type of snack during the day. The funnel cakes are amazing. It's just a really fun place, and if you guys ever get a chance to go out there to Hungry Bear, I suggest you do. Critter Country is a really fun place to kind of, take a load off rather, and just relax. And they have so many great little picnic areas there, the picnic tables there. It's just a really fun place to hang out with the family.
Well, even though that is not available, the Fantasmic dining package at the Blue Bayou restaurant and the River Bell Terrace restaurant, as well as the Fantasmic on-the-go meal at Aladdin's Oasis are still available if you want to check those out over at Disneyland when you see Fantasmic. Heading back over to the East Coast there in Orlando at Walt Disney World, first Disney Springs pedestrian bridge has been set in place on March the 19th. Disney Springs construction workers lowered the first of two new pedestrian bridges slated for the project. The first bridge, which rises over Buena Vista Drive, connects the Team Disney area to downtown Disney, according to a Disney Parks blog post. The bridge will weigh 190 tons once it is completed later this spring, and a second pedestrian bridge near Hotel Plaza Boulevard is scheduled to open later this summer, so it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to head over to the downtown Disney area as it makes its conversion into Disney Springs. Headed over to Epcot.
Say it right.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to be open about this. I'm not going to call it Disney Springs anymore because it's just I have to just accept it.
You may wind up liking it,
I may end up continuing to just call it Disney Springs forever because I have to, because that's what I'm required to do. I don't have any choice. What else can I do, Eric? I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes.
But it makes us laugh, Jeff.
I know that. I know. Moving on. Epcot. To preview scenes from Tomorrowland, the Imagination Pavilion at Epcot opens its doors in mid-April for a special sneak peek preview event for the upcoming Disney movie Tomorrowland, which a lot of people are very, very, very Very excited to see. Visitors can enjoy an early look at some of the scenes from Tomorrowland, which is scheduled to open on May the 22nd. According to the Disney Parks blog post, the Imagination Pavilion Theater offers special in-theater effects to make the movie experience as real as possible. Now, if you were wondering, yes, Captain EO goes on hiatus starting on April the 10th to make way for the Tomorrowland preview. But they have said that it will make its return once again, Captain EO, there at the theater, but no specific date has been mentioned.
For one brief moment, there was light at the end of the tunnel.
And I kind of asked myself the question, isn't this a good opportunity to just say goodbye to Captain EO? We honored Michael Jackson. We brought it back. It sees, 5 to 10 people per show, I guess? I don't know the specific numbers. Disney could tell us that. They're not going to, but this was a good opportunity to get rid of it, and it's just not going to happen. They're just going to keep bringing it back, and there's really nothing we can do about it. So,
okay, I just have one question.
Yes.
What's the title of the movie again?
Tomorrowland.
And they are previewing it in
Future World. At the Imagination
Are
Pavilion.
you telling me that the Disney PR people are all sitting around in one of those big, big, comfortable-looking leather chairs around a large mahogany table, and not one of them says, hey, this movie that we have that's called Tomorrowland, wouldn't it be cool if we did a preview for it in Tomorrowland?
But where would you do it, though? That's the thing. That's my question.
I'll tell you exactly where you do it. I'll tell you exactly where you do it. You do it at that where they put up that ill-fated Stitches Supersonic Celebration. You just hang a huge movie screen on the front of that thing, and you just let people watch it.
That's asking too much. That's not going to happen. No. Asking way too much, Eric. You're thinking outside the box. Disney wants to stay in the box. They don't want to leave the box because there's comfort and security and safety in the box.
I tell you what box, needs to happen is that seeing Tomorrowland in a theater in a dark room with all those special effects and things actually does make sense. Unfortunately, it's not in Tomorrowland. There is no Tomorrowland theater other than the laugh floor that I can think of that it would actually make remote sense. But having said that, I really, out there in the 626 stage, it's just not the right environment for that film. You want to see a film and preview a film in the best light possible, and that is just not going to cut it, unfortunately.
You really do, and I go back again to where they talked about how the theater does offer those special in-theater effects that, it is set up for and has that type of technology to kind of add to the experience and make it as real as possible for everybody. So, Disney has their ways of doing things. So, Eric, I'm very, very sorry. It's just how it's going to be done. I don't know. I'm sorry.
You'd have thought.
I'm sorry to have to burst your bubble like that. I apologize. All right, some big news coming out of the Polynesian Resort Village there at Walt Disney World. Trader Sam's Grotto began its soft opening phase on March the 27th, just a few days ago, at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, to a warm and crowded reception, of course, from the local Disney vultures in the Disney community that always come around and show up for these things, and they're taking their pictures and they're doing all kinds of stuff, crazy things. It was a huge, huge event. But Disney Parks blog provided an in-depth look at the Walt Disney World's newest restaurant, including some great photos of the location and a nice little rundown of the menu as well. Trader Sam's Grotto plans to have its official grand opening in late April, and its official business hours will run from about 4 p.m. through midnight daily. Now, the inside portion of Trader Sam's, they're going to have 51 seats available on the inside. So seating is very, very limited inside of this restaurant. But, of course, you get all the theming that goes along with Trader Sam's, which so many different people have enjoyed throughout the years at Disneyland. You're going to get this at Walt Disney World. But if you want a better chance to get into the restaurant and enjoy some of the fantastic food that they have to offer, they've got some great appetizers, and they also have some fantastic drinks for you to try out as well. There is an outside seating area which has about 80 seats available. So your best chance is to go out there, just experience the food, experience the drinks and everything else. Then when things kind of die down just a little bit, then you'll have an opportunity to really sit inside and soak in the atmosphere that is presented there in Trader Sam's. Now, this is a brand new restaurant, ladies and gentlemen, so that means that the attendance at this place is going to be extremely, extremely high. So you might want to let it kind of die down a little bit, let some of the newness kind of wear off, but it's not going to happen during the spring break time frame, which we are in right now. Of course, attendance at Walt Disney World is going up, up, up as we get into the spring break, time frame. End of March, first part of April is usually when that happens. You might have a good chance before Star Wars weekends starts up. That's when everybody else is back at school and before any summer vacations really start. So that may be a good opportunity. But I did take a look at the pictures. It looks fantastic. The food, the pictures they took of food looks fantastic. The souvenir mug looks fantastic. Aljon, you have had an opportunity to be at Trader Sam's at Disneyland over in Anaheim, California. If you've seen these pictures that Disney's put out of the new Trader Sam's, the comparison, what does it look like to you? Is it a complete replica or is it totally different? Is it a brand new atmosphere for everybody to check out?
It's big. That's all I can tell you, man. I mean, does it have the spirit of the place? Yeah, it does, and that's great. Once again, all we ask for is a bigger bar so we can spend more money, y'all. And what better place to spend your hard-earned cash on your vacation than an awesome, awesome Polynesian bar? And it is absolutely one of my favorites, and this one is going to soon be one of my favorite bars. If there's one thing I love about Disney, it's their damn bars. Yeah. And I totally enjoy Trader Sam's in Disneyland. I love drinking there, albeit the drinks are expensive, don't get me wrong. They are very expensive, but they are very potent as well. So that's something to keep in mind. The pictures are very, very good. I mean, I have to say, I cannot wait to see this. And in a lot of ways, I'm actually more excited about Trader Sam's Grotto than I have been for the actual Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Is it blasphemy to say? Perhaps.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I am actually a guy that enjoys a good drink, and I enjoy a good party. And nothing would make me happier than to have my team at WDW After Dark and or Sorcerer Radio and all of our listeners go out to Trader Sam's, have a shipwreck drink, which is my favorite drink. And by the way, I've taken my friends from work to Trader Sam's out there in Disneyland, and what is our favorite drink? The shipwreck. I've trained them well. So I cannot wait for this Grotto.
You've done this entire spiel, and
yes.
And I'm trying to listen. I really am, but I just can't get back the part where you say that your favorite thing about Disney World is the bars, and I'm just kind of like, Aljon, would you like to go on a ride? Heck no. Aljon, would you like to meet Mickey Mouse? Screw the characters. Give me the bar.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Wow.
Well, look, I am always up for a good time. I really am, and I love food like Kristen loves food. I love drinks like Kristen loves drinks. And I'll be honest, after riding Star Tours 20 times in one day, after riding, whether it's California Dreamin' on the left coast or hanging out with Mickey Mouse and Stitch on the East Coast, I look forward to a really well-made drink in Disney atmosphere, and this place really does make it for me. I cannot wait for Trader Sam's Grotto. I cannot wait to review this place, and I cannot wait for the time we get to broadcast live from Grotto.
Yeah.
And and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon, and I cannot wait. Do I feel hyped up about this place? Oh hell yeah!
Well, I mean, you have every reason to be hyped up about this place because it's not just one or two drinks that this place is offering. There is a plethora of drinks choices to choose from when it comes to this place. Check out just a few of these: the Polynesian Pearl, the Nautilus, the Tiki Rum. We've got the spicy pineapple, the mosquito mojito. We've got the rum flight. Anything with flight on the end of it has to be fantastic. I mean, we love the flights when it comes to Food and Wine Festival. Now we've got rum flights to check out. So, I mean, I'm equally excited to check out this place and have just a few of the drinks. But it's not just about the drinks, too. It's about the food. They say the food is fantastic at Trader Sam's. And when you have stuff like roasted chicken and Hawaiian pork, so many other different things that they're offering at this place. Trust me when I say, if you want just to experience the food and the beverages, sit on the outside portion, get in on one of those 80 seats that aren't available because, like I said, on the inside there is only 51 and you're going to be waiting a lot longer. So take the opportunity to just go outside. But how John said, the atmosphere. Get there early. Get there early if you want to check it out.
Get there early.
Be camping out
because I'll be honest, sitting outside with your pals is all good if you had maybe been there before. But inside is where the magic happens. Okay, I hate to sound like an episode of MTV Cribs, but that's exactly what happens. You go in, there is a show. The wait staff puts on a show. There is animatronics embedded into the walls. There are special effects in every little nook and cranny. There are sounds and interesting things that go on. So, is it like Trader Sam's? I would assume so, and I would also assume that there are a lot of things from Adventureland that made their way into this bar, and the Adventurers Club probably as well. I mean,
I was kind of wondering that myself with the Adventurers Club. A few of the different decorations or anything else that they had inside of there made its way to Trader Sam's. Is what I'm wondering. Myself.
That's my understanding. Yeah, that's my understanding, and I also see that there's some favorites that made its way from the Disneyland attraction all the way over here, the Disneyland bar. I do suggest checking out every one of them. The Krakatoa Punch, one of my favorites. The Hippopotami Mai Tai, the Shrunken Zombie Head. And there's something for the kids too, the Schweitzer Fall and the Skipper Slipper. Slipper. Those are some good things. And yes, all of the food is really good. Polynesian flair. I can't go on it. I could probably talk the whole show about this and how cool it's going to be. But
between the food, the beer selections, the wine, the red wine, the white wines, there's also a Kona beer flight, another flight that I can take. I mean, I'm going to be taking a lot of flights that night, I think. Just to let people know, so I'll get my, Sky Miles that day, no doubt about that. When I do those flights, so
you should also, and Jeff, you should also save up for the collectible mugs because we own a few of them, and I understand that these collectible mugs will be different than the ones they offer on the left coast. So you might want to give that a shot because they are amazing keepsakes.
Well, it looks like to me, when I saw the mug, let me pull up the picture, it looked like a shrunken zombie head is what it looked like, literally. So definitely something I would drink out of at work just for everybody to see and especially drink here on the show. That would be a nice little prop to have while I drink here on the show. So, yeah. That is definitely something you're going to have to pick up as well when you visit that place. All right, so we've talked a lot about that. Let's go ahead and move on real quick. Richard Petty driving experience. We talked about this real quick before, announced that it has extended its closing date to August the 9th. It was previously reported that the racing attraction was shut down sometime in late June as Walt Disney World looks to make transportation improvements near the Magic Kingdom, but they have extended that just a little bit. They didn't say why. Now here's some interesting information for not only us podcasters, vidcasters, people who love to blog or do whatever, or those who like to use the My Disney Experience app while they're at Walt Disney World. Well, Disney has rolled out an upgrade to the Wi-Fi infrastructure across all 4 Walt Disney World theme parks. The update aims to increase performance and network stability for the ever-increasing number of guests trying to use the service. Part of the upgrade has been made possible by removing support for old devices that were connecting on a specific band. Now, this means that owners of some of the early Wi-Fi phones and iPods will no longer be able to access the Disney Wi-Fi service in the parks. Now, due to the importance of accessing My Disney Experience, access to the internet in the theme park has become a very, very critical part of the day for most of the guests visiting Walt Disney World. AT&T has also been working at improving cell-based data services as an alternative to Disney's Wi-Fi service. Lots of guests will be testing the new Wi-Fi service over the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for reviews on the new system as we do receive the information. Now, if you have had the opportunity to experience the new service over the past few days, please let us know. Send us something on Twitter at WDW After Dark. You can also send us something via email if you like, wdwafterdark@gmail.com. You can also comment over on our Facebook page, WDW After Dark. We all know what it's like to try and deal with Wi-Fi service when visiting the Walt Disney World Resort. We've all complained about it. We've all talked about what needs to be done. This is an opportunity for Disney to rectify this problem, and we will see what happens. But those of you who are using those older devices, you may want to upgrade, or you may just want to not worry about what the wait times are going to be, because you're going to have to just look in other locations or ask somebody who's standing next to you who's holding the brand new iPhone 6 or whatever. But, guys, I don't know what to say. Disney is doing what they can, but will it be good enough? We'll just have to wait and see.
Jeff, do you remember not too awful long ago when we were complaining that Disney did not even have Wi-Fi in the parks?
I do remember that, yeah.
And the argument, the counter argument to that was, oh, well, that's because Disney doesn't want you to access the internet. They want you in their reality, their fantasy, and they don't want the outside world creeping in.
Well, that has become the thinking that Disney still wants you inside their world, which is their app. That's the world where they want you to be. It's just the fact I understand that, Wi-Fi is a sketchy thing sometimes. We deal with it here on the show, dealing with good days, bad days, whatever when it comes to Wi-Fi at your own house. But when you talk about thousands upon thousands of people trying to access the internet, look up wait times, look up reservations, make a reservation, Fast Pass Plus, whatever it is and then you've got Disney cast members also using Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. Everything kind of gets jumbled up. They're doing what they can. They're trying their best. Will we still complain? Probably so, but that's just the way it is. And
I just thought it was funny because it doesn't seem like that long ago.
It doesn't, no.
And just it's like, oh no, Disney doesn't have Wi-Fi in their parks, and then it's become, oh no, Disney's got crappy Wi-Fi in their parks.
They listened, but they just weren't up to the challenge quite yet. Quite yet.
Yeah.
And those are your Disney Park news stories this evening on WDW After Dark.
Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Wi-Fi. If they want My Disney Experience to take off like they need to go ahead and get the best service possible so that everyone can use their smartphones. After all, that's what the service is based on. So, yeah, it makes sense for them to do that. Now, having said that, let's talk about some other Disney experiences. Once again, a reminder for you to check out magicaljourneystravel.com, where Kristen can help you save up to 20% on premium rooms at the Disneyland Resort hotels on select Sunday through Thursday nights. Starting right now, you can go ahead and book those resort hotels for 2 nights or longer with theme park tickets and save up to 20% For more details, you can visit her website. You can also save up to 30% on select Walt Disney World Resort hotels this summer, and you can book those deluxe and deluxe villa resorts where you can save 30% off their stay. You can also select moderate resorts, and there's a complete listing of resorts at Kristen's website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, where you can save with cool summer savings because Olaf makes it happen at magicaljourneysvacations.com.
Hey, Aljon,
So,
since you mentioned
yes.
Kristen, I have one more thing. Since she's not able to be here with us, I did have a little more food news because I did forget
go
about
right
that.
ahead.
There is
Yes.
one thing to talk about. Disney's Hollywood Studios restaurants offering some new menu selections. So we've got 3 of Disney's Hollywood Studios quick service restaurants launched an entirely new menu or added items to their established offerings. Now, this did happen last week. Studio Catering Company has a number of new options that include, check this out, this sounds really good, pulled beef brisket sandwiches, braised beef brisket, golly God, it's served on a nice roll with some French fries. Only $10.49. It's not a bad price if you kind of think about it. A vegetable wrap. It's got mushrooms, red peppers, watercress, provolone, garlic herb spread on a spinach tortilla served with house-made chips. Only $9.49. Not a bad price at all. Got a Greek salad, romaine lettuce, tomato, cucumber, red onion, olives, feta cheese, Greek dressing, and tossed to order for only $7.19. Another good price right there. Over at Min and Bill's Dockside Diner, visitors can enjoy the new gourmet macaroni and cheese, one featuring buffalo chicken and crumbled blue cheese. God, that sounds good. And the other featuring barbecued pulled pork and crispy onions to the menu. One other that did make a change, lastly, Fairfax Fare as a new entree, a barbecue pulled pork wedge salad with bacon, roasted corn, tomato salsa, crispy tortilla chips, cheddar, and jalapeno ranch dressing. Golly gee whiz. If you are not hungry now, what is wrong with you? Golly, wow, that sounds good.
I love how Jeff's eyes just start opening wider and wider as he goes down the menu.
I know. Right? Oh, my God.
Go back up the video feed just a little bit and see Jeff's eyes just open up like, oh my gosh, this is great.
This sounds good.
Yeah, I love it. You make the menu sound great, Jeff. I appreciate that.
I
Kristen
appreciate
does too,
that.
by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well,
it.
once again for more Disney dining news, please feel free to visit Kristen's website. She'd appreciate it.
Check out our
diningatdisney.com. And check out the Dining at Disney podcast. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
God, it's good podcast. Love that show.
You like it? Good. I love it too.
I do.
I happen to know the producer.
And I'm not just saying that. I do like it because she talks about food, and I love food. Yeah.
That's right. It's good stuff. So yeah, go ahead and check that out as well. Thank you, Jeff. Speaking of food, let's go ahead and move on to this. One of my favorite events of all Walt Disney World actually happens over there at the Swan and Dolphin for the Food and Wine Classic, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I'm going to have to mute Eric's mic again. I know he loves me for that. But the Swan and Dolphin, so before we even get started, this is what goes on, right? So Eric is literally in a torrential downpour right now. And so if you hear any of that static noise in the background, understand that Eric is under siege right now by the rain.
It's
the
not
other
your
thing
phone.
that people have to realize, the other thing that other people have to realize is the fact that WDW After Dark, like so many of the other shows that I produce, is actually done on Google Plus Hangouts. Now, people have written before and tweeted me before saying, Aljon, how come the audio skips a little bit? How come it sounds like Jeff is being derezzed or Eric is frozen in time? Now, I try my best to leave the shows as unedited as possible and run it through, an effect to make sure that our voices sound all leveled out and everything like that, which you don't normally get in our webcast because on YouTube it goes straight from Google Hangouts to YouTube, and I put the intro and the outro on the show. But Google Hangouts uses a lot of bandwidth, and in order for our show, like if we were to use Skype or live stream or whatever, has a lot of is very taxing on the internet. It's not like other webcasts where they all do it from their house. A lot of us DJs for Sorcerer Radio or whatever, if we were to have guests or each other on each other's programs, we'll use a program like this because it's the only way we can conference together where the fidelity is pretty decent.
Sure.
So once again, please bear with us, but I think that when Google Fiber comes into Nashville, I think things will be much better, and that's why we need your help, trying to keep the show going, because doing a show like this is not easy. But we do appreciate everyone's support and understanding when the weather's bad outside like it is today. So
yeah, definitely.
So keep that in mind. And Eric, feel free to unmute yourself anytime. and comment there. I know right now he's like, I cannot believe Aljon just cut me off. That bastard. But let's move on. I know, poor guy.
I wouldn't call you
brought
that.
to you by Google. Hang.
To your face.
To your face.
Thanks. Thank you for that. Thank you for that vote of confidence. Speaking about food, Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, one of Kristen and I's favorite things in the world to do is the tickets are on sale and available right now. The 6th annual Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic will be taking place October 30th, which is a Friday, all the way to the 31st from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Guests can enjoy unlimited small plates for the hotel's restaurants for more than 40 booths and wine from more than 30 wineries along the causeway between the Swan and Dolphin. Guests can upgrade their ticket to include the beer garden, where it features a select number of craft beers and Oktoberfest-inspired food. Jeff, does this sound like something good?
Oh, yes, it does.
You bet your sweet ass it does.
Yeah,
that's right. The price is a little hefty. It's $105 and $105 per person. That comes with unlimited tasting causeway ticket and unlimited food. Okay.
I don't say that's all that bad. I really don't think it's that bad of a price. You think about what you're getting.
Not.
You had me at unlimited food.
Yeah, unlimited food.
Yes.
Come on.
If you were to get there, if you're like Chris and myself, you get there early, you maybe do a food and wine seminar or whatever, you pay a few bucks for it, but you get there at 5:30, you get your commemorative glass, your little plate, and you stay all the way to 9, you could probably have all kinds of, Shula's steak, rounds and rounds of Shula's steak. You probably get to meet celebrity chef Todd English. You get to meet all the chefs there. You have unlimited desserts, and the desserts are absolutely amazing. You get all kinds of shrimp. You get all kinds of steak. You get the best barbecue sauce. You get sushi and sake and wine, and the list goes on and on. Now, if you consider how much you're getting per plate, and these are big portions, $105 is cheap by comparison, and it really is an event for the senses. The food, the drink, the beer, the fun, the camaraderie that you have, and a lot of Sorcerer Radio listeners, a lot of WDW After Dark viewers do this event every year. We've been very blessed to have met a lot of those people, and it's great. So once again, $105 per person, unlimited food, unlimited beverage. Bring your own bottles of water, by the way, or upgrade to $125 per person, and then you get the beer garden to boot. Now you can purchase your tickets online or by calling 1-828-8850. Yes.
Okay,
Eric.
So basically what you're saying is we could either pay the $105, have unlimited food, but you still got to bring your own water, or you could go and purchase a ticket to the Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
If I'm already there, I've already got my ticket, so I'll spend the extra $100.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Right.
I'd do it.
You know what? My friend Raphael from the Mouse, and I think Ryan Hurley, who has been on the show before for Turtle Power Podcast, said, Aljon, every time you speak about the Food and Wine Classic, your face lights up like no other. And you can tell I'm genuinely excited about this event because it's just such a fun time. They have great entertainment, fun bands that perform, great cover bands that perform, and it really is a really nice event. So if you can't take it for me or Kristen, please experience it for yourself. It'll be money well spent. And I guarantee you it's going to be fun for the whole family. And the kids, we're going to have a blast eating all those great desserts and all those little finger food sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. Now, granted, is it expensive for the kids to attend? You bet your sweet ass it will. However,
That's where you
I
smuggle some
definitely will
sushi
say that.
out underneath your jacket or something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
That's
kid,
right.
brought you something.
Yeah, you see that Tupperware over there in your purse?
Yeah,
Yeah, go grab
yeah.
it from Mom, and I'll be putting all these barbecue sliders in here for sure.
But
You
here's
know,
here's where this event is a little bit different than some of the others that you might get to experience. Watching wishes or watching illuminations or everything else. 9 times out of 10, it's small dessert parties, a very limited selection as to what you get, and you're paying upwards between $70 to $90 just for those events right now. You're paying an extra $20 to $25, and you're adding on to the menu of so many different things that you're going to eat. That if you want to add a little more, you get to drink, and then you get the desserts on top of everything else. And it's an exclusive event. You don't have the hustle and the bustle. I mean, I've never been, but I guarantee you don't have the hustle and the bustle of the theme parks in the background. Probably very calm and serene type of setting that you can really soak in the atmosphere and enjoy. Aljon, am I right when I say that?
You're exactly right, Jeff. You know that the thing about the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot is there is a lot of hustle bustle. The lines are extremely long. Now, granted, there's still going to be lines at this event, especially for Shula's Steakhouse, which is one of the finest steaks on property. And you know me, I love my steak. So, having said that, there are a lot of other kiosks to visit, a lot of other food and wine to experience, and the wait is very, very minimal on all those other places. So, you know what? Is it worth it? I definitely think it's worth it, so please check it out. So
Yummy.
that is my 2 cents on the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic. Tickets are on sale right now. For more details, diningatdisney.com. How about this? Speaking of events, I know a lot of us here are D23 fans or have been on the D23. Uncle Servo, Eric, I'm going to meet you again, my brother. I love you, but I'm muting you. There you go. The D23 Orlando events are going to be taking place. Special screenings, as Jeff had alluded to. We've got special screenings of Tomorrowland. We have special screenings that had went on for Cinderella. But right now, there is something on the horizon that is Waking Up with Sleeping Beauty that happens on the morning of Saturday, April 18th. D23 Gold and Silver members will be able to enjoy this animated classic on the big screen with special guest animator from Disney World creative designer Lon Smart. They'll be exploring the film's numerous landmark achievements, including its unique artistic style and groundbreaking visuals. And all the members will receive a special journal designed to look like the ornate storybook at the beginning of the film. How cool is that? Mickey's of Glendale. So one of my favorite stores is Mickey's of Glendale, and it does open up for D23 at the Expo every year. However, it's coming to the Walt Disney World Resort. The Imagineering store is opening up a pop-up shop for D23 Gold and Silver members on Saturday, June 6th. Guests will be able to pursue and purchase signature items from the store's unique collection, and on Saturday, November 14th, members will be able to pick up some key holiday items from Disney fans, for the Disney fans in their lives as well as themselves. And Mickey's of Glendale, as some people know, is the exclusive Imagineering shop that is on the Disney Studio property, which is great. So the fact that I can get my Imagineering bowling shirt and get it and wear it proudly is great. But for people that cannot attend the expo, it's a great opportunity for them to pick up those really key items. I also got a Wedway t-shirt there, and it's one of my favorite shirts. So definitely very cool to pick it up. I know, Eric, you're a big fan of getting those really cool t-shirts, right? I muted you, Eric. There you go. Eric, you were saying?
No, I really wasn't saying anything at all. I was just messing with you. No, you're right.
No,
I
okay,
do.
thanks.
I do really like the limited edition ones because you never know when you're going to get a T-shirt regarding about an attraction that Disney's just going to yank and turn into something else Frozen. So it's kind of like having a memento, a souvenir of attractions gone by.
Yeah, definitely so. Very cool stuff. Now, June 6th, okay, for the fans of the Parent Trap, get this. You can celebrate this beloved hit on the big screen from 1961. Gosh, I can't believe it. With Haley Mills in dual roles in The Parent Trap, one of her classic roles. That happened Saturday, June 6th. Stephen Vaganini will present a look at the making of the film with rarely seen photographs and imagery. All attendees will receive a special gift, plus members who attend the screening will receive priority admission to that day, the D23 shopping event with Mickey's of Glendale.
Yes.
The Sip and Stroll. Now, we just got done talking about food. Jeff did so eloquently put the food is the lifeblood of a lot of Disney communities around, and the Sip and Stroll event is happening in October, Saturday 3rd, just in time for the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Now, the Sip and Stroll is a wonderful event. Attendees will enjoy a continental breakfast. Guest speakers include, and have been included in the past, Imagineers, which is really neat. An insider look at this annual event, now in its 20th year, before the sipping and strolling around the showcase, will have some we'll also have some delectable surprises. So Sip and Stroll is always fun. So anyway, please note these different events. We're going to update the D23 events on the D20 or on the SR website, as well as Jedi Mouseketeer in the coming days. So please be on the lookout for that. We're going to wrap things up before we get into our discussion about some really cool stuff. I know Eric has got some stuff he'd like to talk about in the next segment. But have you ever been down to Disney's Hollywood Studios and made an action figure of yourself? Maybe you've heard of this, Carbon Freeze Me experience, where you get to have your face and your body scanned for a nice kind of candy bar like figurine of yourself frozen in carbonite like Han Solo. Right. Or maybe you've stormtroopered yourself in the past. Well, during Star Wars, maybe you stormtroopered yourself. That sounds really interesting. It's a noun as well as a verb. How about that?
Yeah, it is.
Go stormtrooper yourself. Yours. Stormtrooper yourself. D-Tech will be returning this year to Star Wars Weekend starting May 15th of this year, and you'll have an opportunity to Jedi Knight and TIE Fighter yourself, okay? So this comes to us from the Star Wars website, StarWars.com. So the D-Tech Me figures, a Jedi Knight and TIE Fighter pilot, will be premiering at Star Wars Weekend at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, it first was introduced by D-Tech in 2012. The 10-minute experience uses the world's highest resolution single-shot 3D face scanner created by Imagineering scientists at Disney Research Labs, also Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. This captured image is later sent through a HD 3D printer to create the figurine, and this year the experience will be located in Darth Mall near the Streets of America from Studio Catering. In addition to the new figures, they'll also offer the Carbon Freeze Me figurine, the Alderaan Princess figure, which is a Princess Leia, of course. Male and female options, not for the Princess figurine, by the way.
I am so glad you clarified that.
Yes, thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yes. And also, for the Stormtrooper and X-Wing pilot figurines, there will be a male and female options for that, okay? So for children, the Carbon Freeze Me and Alderaan Princess figures will be available for youthful appearances. How about that? Now, as one would expect, it's Disney, so it's not very cheap. In fact, the 7-inch figurines are $119.95 each. That's $119.95 plus shipping and handling and applicable sales tax. For 16-inch figurines, retail, by the way, is $999.95. That is nearly $1,000 each plus shipping and applicable sales tax. Participants will receive a specially designed button. That's right. Just barely clears. So completed figurines will arrive 6 to 8 weeks later after the experience. If shipping is domestically, it might take a little bit longer internationally. Guests can book their experience, and you need to book this in advance, okay, by calling 407 WDW Tech. That's 407-939-8324. And once again, you can check out all of the magical happenings for Star Wars Weekend starting May 15th all the way to June 14th. So, and I can take a look at these figures, and they're really neat. They are not posable; they are statuettes, so you will not be able to bend and and move their heads or their hands or their feet or anything like that, like a big action figure. But it does look cool, and if I had the cheddar to do so, it'd be really cool to have me as a Jedi Knight, or have Kristen as a, Princess Leia, or even a Stormtrooper. For me, it'd be, are you a little Asian to be a Stormtrooper? But we'll have to figure all of that out. I know, right?
You know which one I wish they would come out with?
What's that, Jeff?
The scene, and choose the scene that you want, either which one. Either the scene where Luke is facing himself in the cave on Dagobah, and the head, is chopped off, the mask explodes, he sees his own face, if you could have Vader's body with, the front portion blown out and your face right there, or the portion where in Return of the Jedi he takes the top portion of the helmet off and, has the voice changing, thing right up near his face, but the rest of his head you can completely see. Have your face on something like that. I want Vader. If I'm going to do it, I want Vader. That's the one I want to see done. I think it'd be nice.
Jeff, you want the Vader me experience, right?
I want the Vader me experience. That's the one I want. Yeah.
Well,
we want Darth Davis. That's what it is, isn't it?
Darth Davis.
No, you do. Now, Jeff, you do realize to complete your slide to the dark side, to Vader yourself, that would require you to lose both of your arms and your legs.
You do what you have to do to make those dreams come true, right?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Come on.
Everybody's got to have goal.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Fair enough.
It would look really good standing next to my 2 foot tall Darth Vader that I have over here in the corner. So I think it would look good right next to that. So
custom action figure creators out there, please take note. Jeff Davis would like a Darth Vader version of himself with a removable helmet. So
there you go.
Please keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Very good. One last final thing, just a reminder that Marvel's Daredevil is coming to Netflix April 10th. Okay, we're just a few days away. So what you need to do right now is sign up for Netflix so you can get every bit of the action for Marvel's Daredevil. Of course, all of that over the next couple of years, all of the new TV shows in regards to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that are appearing in Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Power Man, or Luke Cage rather, will all come to a conclusion with the Defenders series, which really is cool. And I suspect, because there is rumors, and I believe you may have mentioned this on Mighty Marvel Geeks, Eric, that The Punisher would be a great show to have on Netflix if they were to put it on TV. So
I think we're seeing the origins of the Punisher now.
Yeah, I believe we are too. So anyway, it's very cool stuff indeed. So without any further ado, now turn the horn over to Mr. Eric Allen.
You're not going to cut me off this time, are you? You're not going to mute me in mid-sentence, are you?
I'm going to cut myself off right now. Here we go.
Okay. Following through on, Aljon, what you just mentioned about the Defenders movie and all that, another two of the movies that Marvel has planned coming out as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be Doctor Strange and Black Panther. We don't know a whole lot about the Doctor Strange movie so far because there hasn't been much revealed. There hasn't been much announced aside from Benedict Cumberbatch taking on the role of Doctor Strange, which I think is an A1 casting decision, just between you and me and the fence post. However, writer-director Scott Derrickson may have just provided a possible plot detail to the movie. He posted on Twitter a photo taken from one of the pages from Strange Tales 110 that shows Doctor Strange's encounter with a hooded figure. It could be Clea, it could be Dormammu, but in this introduction, this Strange Tales 110, Strange is entering a man's dreams, and the story revolves around a businessman asking Doctor Strange for help because he's been having nightmares. Doctor Strange soon discovers the man is haunted by guilt over ruining people's business, and it works from there. And there is a character in the Marvel Universe called Nightmare. So I think he may have just dropped a hint. Now, you don't know if Nightmare is going to be a cameo, like say one of the end credit scenes, or if you're actually if he's going to be the main bad guy of the story. But there have also been rumors that the Doctor Strange movie is not going to be an origin story. I mean, it's not going to see how Stephen Strange becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. I don't know how I feel about that, because I think you really need to have the origin story. So, because Doctor Strange is not that well-known a character. You could get away with it with Spider-Man or even Captain America, for that matter, because people know who they are. Doctor Strange, not so much. But the other movie that I won't talk about this week is Black Panther. Now, if you remember, you've heard the name Andy Serkis, right? Guys?
No, I have not heard that name before.
You watched Lord of the Rings, right?
Yes.
You remember Gollum?
Yes.
Andy Serkis did the voice for Gollum / Smeagol, and he was also the, you don't want to call him body double, but he was the one that did the motion capture.
Okay.
So basically, he was the actor behind Gollum in those movies. Well, he is going to be in Avengers Age of Ultron, and it has been confirmed that he is playing a villain from the Black Panther series called Ulysses Claw. Now, this guy, later on, and I can't wait to see if they're going to do this or not, basically his body gets destroyed, and he is a cyborg whose body is made out of solid sound.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap my head around that right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he is going to be in Age of Ultron. We don't know, how big a role that'll be.
Yeah.
But there is a question as to whether or not his appearance in Age of Ultron is being used as a setup to seeing him in the Black Panther movie. Now he has confirmed that he is playing the character. He has not confirmed if he will bring that character back for Black Panther. But the good news is it's not set for release till July 6th of 2018.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
So, that's over 3 years away. So if he's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be playing this character, well, there's still plenty of time for Marvel to come along and say, hey, Andy, yes, you will. I don't know if knocking on a microphone does it or does anything or not, but
in a way.
Yeah, in a way. But one thing before I want to get on to the discussion question for the evening is we are recording this on March 31st with, of course, April Fool's Day being next day. Google is known for doing gags or pranks for April Fool's Day, but they've let this one out a day early, and I think this could be like one of the best things ever. Now, what it is, if you go to Google Maps, you pull up Google Maps on the internet, you'll see at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen where you can either go into satellite mode or Pac-Man mode. And what this does, it takes the streets of the map that you are viewing and turns it into a Pac-Man maze. And where roads kind of go off the screen, well, that becomes the warp tunnels where, Pac-Man go out this way, whoop, whoop, and come through the other way. Yes, I did it on my workplace today. Yeah, but the Orlando Sentinel has come out with an article of the best places in Central Florida to use Google Pac-Man. Two of them are Disney properties. You've got Magic Kingdom, and you've got Epcot. Now, also on the list are like Orlando International Airport. That ought to be fun. University of Central Florida, Kennedy Space Center, Stetson University, Orlando Citrus Bowl, the Devil Park, International Drive, and Amway Center / downtown Orlando. But we really don't care about that. We care about frickin' Disney World. We want to put Pac-Man around World Showcase, around Buena Vista Drive. We want to put him like running back behind frickin' New Fantasyland.
Oh boy!
So fortunately, Sorcerer Radio has already put this out. It is an article. If you go to srsounds.com, pull it up. It is a link to the Walt Disney World map, and there you can play Pac-Man to your heart's extent. Just think, you're chasing ghosts around the Haunted Mansion.
You're eating and drinking your way around the world.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, you're not drinking around the world. You're walking it around the world.
That's a lot of wakas.
That's a lot of waka.
Waka.
How do you manage to navigate the hub? Because Pac-Man doesn't exactly go in circles in this version.
Maybe
you have to hit the arrow buttons simultaneously.
Oh goodness gracious! Oh man, that's I'm gonna have to try that.
You're gonna have to try that. And but moving on to our discussion question for the week, you may have heard, because this just recently came out. Have you seen live action Cinderella yet? Either one of you?
No.
Yes.
Okay. How was it?
Loved it.
Loved it. Okay. How about Maleficent?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good. Good.
Loved it.
Oh yeah.
Loved it.
Great.
Alice in Wonderland?
Yep.
Loved
Another
it.
good one.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. 101 Dalmatians?
Didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
It was okay.
Okay. Well, what do all these things have in
yeah.
common? If you don't know already, they're live-action versions of Disney movies.
Yeah.
And now, according to Hollywood Reporter, Disney has bought a script by writing team Elizabeth Martin and Lauren Hynek that centers on the Chinese legend of Ha Mulan. Does that name sound familiar? That name should sound familiar because she is the main character in Disney's 1998 movie Mulan. So, the theme is, the story goes, they are making or wanting to make a live-action Mulan movie.
Why not?
Of all the live-action versions they have done or are doing, it's like, come on, really? Do we need a live-action Dumbo? No, we could go to Ringling Brothers and see that. Well, not anymore, but still.
Yeah, you're not doing that anymore, no.
But of all the Disney movies that they are developing, they have done, I think this is probably one of the better ones to do. Simply because there's not a lot of bippity-boppity-boo or anything like that. It could be pretty much another Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type thing.
Could be.
It could be.
Good. Let's hope it's not like Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh Lord!
Oh golly, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the original Mulan movie did well in the theaters. It earned like 300 million worldwide. It was nominated for Golden Globes and Oscars, and this may not be quite the compliment that people would like it to be. It had a direct-to-DVD sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Direct-to-DVD sequel is never a good thing.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. But the question I want to put to the two of y'all: since obviously Disney is going to continue doing this, I mean, and not necessarily a bad thing either, because most of these live action versions have done really well. Out of the remaining Disney animated movies, which one or two, or for that matter even more, would you like to see done?
Easy. You ready?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Black Cauldron. And I'll say this with the caveat that they could make it better. There are a lot of things in that film where I believe that if tweaked could actually make for a really cool film.
I could see that.
Okay. What about
Yeah.
you, Jeff?
Oh, golly. I can't pick Disney Pixar. It has to be Disney animation only, correct?
Well, sure, why not? We'll throw Disney Pixar in there.
Okay, that kind of broadens it a little. First thing that came to mind, and this would be extremely tough, because in the upcoming live-action film Dumbo, they are not using not one real animal in the entire film. All of the elephants in that film will be computer-generated.
Which you figured.
You figured that, okay, because you don't want the PETA and all those people, losing their frickin' minds, like they do with everything else that happens with an animal in a movie. Golly gee whiz. I want to say The Lion King.
Okay.
Could be interesting.
Could be interesting. Yes.
And if not The Lion King, Monsters, Inc.
I could see that. I think mine. I've been thinking about this for a while today, and the ones I can't come up with just one either. I would come up with two. Those are Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and Treasure Planet.
Awesome.
I'd say
Those-
Atlantis.
Atlantis, it has a great action movie feel to it,
Yeah.
and you go full steampunk with that. I mean, you could really have some fun with it.
Definitely poses it's definitely really cool to think about. I mean, and by the way, for the record, I really don't count the 101 Dalmatians movie as part of the new wave of live action movies.
No.
I really consider the new wave of Disney live action to be kicked off by Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I know that the Beauty and the Beast film is going to be more traditional and stay truer to the musical version that is coming out, or that is that it already exists, I should say, the animated classic Beauty and the Beast. So it makes me think that, okay, so they're going to have Mulan, awesome. Maybe the next one they're going to have is The Little Mermaid. I mean, it just makes sense. It makes a ton of money, and the Once Upon a Time has kind of got this tie-in now with The Little Mermaid and everything like that. So it's just a logical progression for me.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool to see Disney's take on a fantasy, Lord of the Rings kind of sword kind of thing, more so than they did with Alice in Wonderland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of harken back to that, because they don't have like a Lord of the Rings kind of situation or a Harry Potter situation. So it'd be really cool to kind of revisit going to the Black Cauldron in that regard. And can I see a Lion King? Definitely. I mean, I think the most important aspect of all this is making sure they have a really good story. If they have a really good story, it doesn't really matter now, does it?
It really doesn't. I thought about the work what they did with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Aslan, and all that, and the impact that animal had, and how they tied it in with humans and everything else. with the Lion King, you could take that, have humans involved as far as the danger of having people around in that area and how it affects all the animals and so many other different characters that are involved in just the Lion King animated film itself. Interacting with people could be something interesting. But I mean, there were a couple that came to mind that were already regular live action movies that you'd have to turn into animated and then start it all over again. Like I hate to say, a lot of Disney classic movie buffs are going to hate me for saying this. I would love to see a remake of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I think.
God, yes.
I mean, it just
They've been working on that forever.
I know it's a classic and it is a fantastic movie. I watched it last month. But an update and today's technology and what they can do with that, a remake of that would be fantastic. But we've never had an animated version of it. That's why I couldn't say that. But one of the biggest animated movies of all time was The Lion King, and to find a way to put that into a live action type film could be interesting. It could be kind of bland as well. But I mean, that's a tough choice to really make.
But Jeff, can you see a live action CGI animal-based film like The Lion King? Would it be a musical? Because part of the reason why The Lion King was so successful is because of the music.
Yeah, and see, they've done that on Broadway. They've done it there at the Animal Kingdom. Is there a way possible to tie that into a movie? Could be. It's very touchy though because Broadway and a park attraction are two totally separate things than a live action movie. So they'd have to be very careful as to how they did that, if they did it maybe once in the film, if anything. I don't know. But yeah, it's a touchy thing to do when you have musicals like that.
Eric, how about you?
The problem with doing something like Lion King is you can get away with making it a musical when it's animated because people they don't look real. The characters don't look real, so the viewing public does not expect them to act real. So if anybody could do it, it would be Disney, but just go back to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You see a scene where Aslan starts, strolling in, and all of a sudden he breaks into, be prepared or something. It's just It's just kind of, you just sitting there going, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is that
I would have said Toy Story, but Toy Story already has that real feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be tough to translate into real toys because it already feels real as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't use that one.
They could do Incredibles.
Sure, and I guess the thing could be the same could be said about Big Hero 6. I mean, could you find that? Could you do it in real life? I mean, wow, that's already it was a Marvel franchise to begin with, so I can see that making a changeover and in a few years and make it part of a Marvel universe at some point, and I don't know. I mean, I think that the thing is, how much will the audience be taken out of their comfort zone? You know what I mean?
You're talking about like suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief, yes, absolutely, Eric. Will the people buy in? In the case of The Jungle Book by Jon Favreau, with Jon Favreau directing and everything, I think because the actors know and the people will know that it's more of a lighthearted comedy, type of film, and it's cheeky, that they're going to say, oh, look, the animals are going to be in there, and it's going to be voiced by all these people, and it's going to have this interesting hybrid look to it, that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting setting. Maybe, but the problem is with The Lion King is that it doesn't have a whole lot of those human interactions like The Jungle Book would, per se. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
You're right.
So and it's a totally and it's also for me, I think too that most, I don't know, I'd like to think that the Jungle Book has more comedic elements in it versus the Lion King, which has more dramatic elements, and that Timon and Pumbaa are simply there like R2D2 and C3PO. You know, they're just kind of there to kind of break it up with a little bit of levity. But there's a lot at the heart of the Lion King. There's a very serious story being told there.
Yes, there is.
There is. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the subject matter would feel kind of weird. You know, you were talking about Aslan, Eric and Jeff. You're talking about that, and the backdrop of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a total fantasy background. So really, all the rules get thrown out. Just like you see the for the live action Cinderella, for example, you have the mice, you've got the all the other animals that turn into Cinderella's basically entourage at that point, and you're like, okay, well, this makes sense because it's all magical. So I think that kind of sucks me in and go, you know what, I'm bought in because I'm sitting in the theater and I'm totally invested because it makes sense logically for me. The magic makes that happen, so I buy into it.
Yeah.
So if they can create a scenario in which it feels natural for the audience to buy in and be entertained and not be taken away from the suspension of disbelief that Eric had said, then it's cool. It just has to make sense.
Tarzan.
Oh
yes,
that won't be a good one.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there has been live action Tarzan stuff before, but I think that's great. Or how about this? Aladdin, I think would be great.
Yeah,
Aladdin would be a good one. Hercules.
Hercules. Yeah.
Hercules.
No Kevin Sorbo for a change. Yeah, that would be nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
I think
but that wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. But it's been a while since the Sorbo day, so I think it would be warranted and accepted.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
his ears are burning now, Jeff, because you're the first person to mutter his name since WGN stopped running that show years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last honorable mention he had was the film God Is Not Dead.
Andromeda.
So, yeah.
Oh, God Is Not Dead? I was thinking Andromeda, so okay, good.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I think the more humans that you have in the animated movie, the easier the transition would be to a live-action format.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it. It would make it hard for movies like Robin Hood or The Lion King or Finding Nemo, for that matter, because there's very little. But I just had a thought here. Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
How many of us would love to see Maleficent as a dragon in a more realistic look?
Yeah, that would be. We get Kate Upton to play, Sleeping Beauty, I guess.
Well, that'd work.
Yeah, that would be good, I guess.
You just want to sleep with that beauty.
You know what? I in all honestness, I'm just glad nobody here mentioned Frozen as a live action film, because that would just.
No.
Oh, no. Golly, Jesus.
I just Frozen was cute when I saw it the first time.
Once Upon a Time was enough.
I'm suffering from hypothermia right now.
I have to say though, I have to admit that Frozen Fever in front of Cinderella was actually really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm numb to it, so I can't.
Yeah, you about to have to start cutting toes off.
You got Fraser burn.
Yeah,
you got Fraser burn.
Just a little
Fraser
bit.
burn. That's it.
Yeah, that's
all
kind
right.
of what it is.
All right.
So
I think maybe for the next discussion question, you have to consider which one of the Disney live action films you'd like to see remade.
Cool.
Rebooted.
I've already
because
mine.
I know what mine is too. So
I know what mine is.
Let's save it for another day. Let's save it for another day. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
And trust me, I'm feeling this. I really.
You may not.
Okay, well-
You may be surprised what I say. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's table that because that's an interesting question because I know Kristen would have something she'd like to say on that as well. So, what would
Motion
you guys?
tabled and passed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What do you all think? Our viewing audience, our listening audience, feel free to send us a tweet. Also, you can reply to this on our website, wdwafterdark.com, as well as our Facebook page, WDW After Dark Webcast. I'm losing my mind here. I've been up too long. So having said that, let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Thank you so much for checking out our weekly webcast for adult Disney fans. We want to make sure that you're happy with the show, you like the show. We always take your suggestions, and we'll take them to heart and see how we can improve our show every single week for you, our loyal watchers, our loyal viewers and listeners. So, Jeff, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where people can find you on the internet?
Over on Twitter at DW_60 and also in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone is where they can find me.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Eric Allen.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at two separate places for primarily Disney stuff. It would be at Sorcom Review. And for Marvel and other assorted geekeries, it would be at Uncle Servo. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sorcom Review and also in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone.
Very good. And I'm in the Fun Zone. Jeff's in the Fun Zone. Kristen's in the Fun Zone. You can interact with us there. Talk to us all about our Disney fun and our fandom. You can also find me at Jedi Mouseketeer on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube. You can also find Kristen at The Dining at Disney on YouTube and diningatdisney.com for all of our social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can also check out Kristen's webcast and podcast with Jay Bratton from DisGeek Podcast at Dining at Disney Podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. You can also check me out. I've got WDW Tiki Room, also on Sorcerer Radio every Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern. This week, Chris and I are going to review yet another resort, and you can also download highlights of the show at WDW Tiki Room Podcast on Twitter. I'm sorry, did I say Twitter? Also on iTunes. And for you wrestling marks out there, if you're big wrestling fans, you can also check out my new podcast, Pro Wrestling Cast. We recently took over several days of WrestleMania, Sunday predictions. We had the Sunday show, and we're going to do a Monday Night Raw recap as well. So you want, if you're a big wrestling fan, you can check out Pro Wrestling Cast on iTunes. So anyway, guys, the show is over. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, please have a great week, and we will see you. Hopefully, we'll see you back here next Tuesday. So take care, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.
See ya.
Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join Weeby Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to Weeby Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at WeebyGeeks.net. Weeby Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?